Saudi Cup, and welcome to another episode here for the Fun Report Mindful Media and Communication. As you can see, if you're watching the video episode, the Christmas decoration is gone, so no more Christmas vibes. New vibes coming soon. Right now it's cold vibes because it's the first time ever I'm recording a podcast wearing like a hoodie jacket kind of thing because it's cold in Thailand. It is cold. I don't know how cold. 20 degrees, maybe something Celsius, because we're using actual measurement. Anyways, it's cool, it's nice, and I'm glad you're here with me for another episode of the Fun Report, where we look into like current happenings, applying media theories, seeing how we can utilize maybe media or consume media in a more mindful way. And today, we're not looking as much at us. Well, we do, but we're looking at like someone that seems to have a tight grip on all things media channels, outlets, politics, anything, cars, space, social media, anything that kind of affects us at some point to some extent. It's Elon Musk. Yeah, and I do want to look a little bit into like Elon Musk's political playbook from a media point of view. So I'm not going to make this about like politics that he aligns with or that he disagrees with. It might come up a little bit. Again, it's not a politics podcast, so I will not go down the politics route. Who knows? Even though he's meddling a lot in German politics, and as you either know or hear from my accent, that I'm from Germany, which is really annoying. And he just had a German politician on his platform for like a live talk with her, Alice Weidel, who is now the running for Chancellor of Germany for the far-right AfD party. And he's like, she's the last hope for Germany. Dude, last night on the event of the party where they confirmed her as the Chancellor, as the candidate for Chancellor, she pulled out all the stops. Like when people were saying, she's not really in the right wing, then on. Yeah, so yesterday night she pulled out all the stops saying all the right wing stuff. So yes, she is. Yes, they are. And Elon Musk should listen to this podcast. But again, we're not making this political, even though it's very, very, very hard. We're making this media communication theories heavy. Okay, so let's dive into like, how does he do it? Why does he do it? Okay, so I wanted to talk about it because his actions, while of course all fueled by political reasons, are then powered by access to the media and by the media that he can utilize, has access to, right? Of course, has access to his platform. He bought Twitter back then and then renamed it. Yeah. So that's that. But then, of course, every time he tweets, he posts something, it reaches like actual news outlets as well, right? Which is kind of crazy. So that's why anything he says has huge implications. There's no denying that. Hate him, love him, there's no denying that. And while I'm talking about like Elon Musk being like the devil, being evil, I'm obviously exaggerating on purpose. But I do think that his actions, words, posts have a huge impact, as I just mentioned, and that's why I just want to make sure that we all understand it. And maybe he doesn't even understand it, right? Maybe he just wants to be like that nerdy guy that runs all those companies and finds it fine that people listen to him. But dude, just like suck. Like if you run one of the biggest companies on the planet, if you're the richest guy on the planet, people will listen to you. Unfortunately, they will. So you have to be aware of the impact that you have, how you reach people, and the people take what you say for gold. Okay, that's unfortunately how it is. So recently he like meddled more in politics than ever before, I think, right? So like there's political commentary all the time. Like he talks about social media censorship. He endorses Trump, for example. Regrets. There's lots of political lobbying. The German thing that I just mentioned with Alice Weidel. He dabbles in the UK, tries to tell them what to do, what not to do. Like it was involved in Canada. I think he's also somehow involved in the whole Ukraine thing. Of course, he's everywhere, right? He has his fingers everywhere. Again, not surprising if you're running one of the biggest media empires of the planet, and then also have other huge companies that are involved in deals in basically every country in the world. Okay, so, and I don't want to like over complicate this thing right now with media theories and I know take it away from or make it too academic, because sometimes what Elon does is and yeah, first name basis of course was cool. Sometimes what Elon does is of course like not that academic. It's just like kind of like this little kid that's like I can do it. I do it because I can do it, right? But there are a few theories that apply, that make sense to apply. I think that he does apply on purpose. Yeah, one of those is of course agenda setting, because of course he's got an agenda, right? He uses his platforms to prioritize different political narratives, being that his own or the ones that he's aligned with, right? So that whole freedom of speech thing, for example, it sounds great, sure, but what comes along with it, right? The question then is, I say right a lot in this case simply because otherwise I would say swear words. Because freedom of speech is a great concept and all for it, but if freedom of speech then also includes hate speech, then you think, okay, so where do we draw the line? And censorship, for example, like Zuckerberg said there's censorship. Zuckerberg, right? On another episode coming in a second, but Zuckerberg and Musk, the same thing. They're equaling fact-checking with censorship, which is not the same, for example. So his agenda is clear. He wants people to think about current happenings in a way that he thinks about. He doesn't say, you should do this, you should do that. Well, sometimes he does. But generally, he just tries to convince people to think about the same things that he thinks about and think about it in a way that he sees those things, right? I say it again. I will try to stop that. And that's agenda setting. Right? He has his agenda, which is make more money, have more power. Okay. Be accepted by the cool guys. That's something that he probably has in common with Zuck. Then we have a cultivation theory. A cultivation theory means if we are exposed to a certain content and we consume that content over and over again, we kind of agree with it. It cultivates an understanding, so to speak. And so consistent exposure to Musk's views shape political public perception. Okay? Meaning, the more Musk talks about it, the more we follow it, the more we understand it, the more we agree with it even, and maybe the more the audience, especially on X then, because they're exposed to it even more, the more that audience then says, okay, he keeps talking about it a lot, he's very smart, he must know what he's talking about. And that's the cultivation theory. You cultivate a cult following, so to speak. Not generally, but in this case might be a cult following, but generally speaking, you cultivate a perception of yourself, of the content that you're putting out, and so the people think, hey, you talk about this a lot, you must know a lot about it. And the third theory I wanna tie to him right now is the to-the-flow theory, because Musk discusses like politics and stuff with the followers, or he doesn't discuss, he pushes it to the followers, which means there's what's actually happening, right? The actual news source, the actual events, elections in Germany, in the US, whatever. Then there's Musk, it's like the second step, and then the third step is it goes to the followers. So it doesn't go from the initial event to the followers. In the middle, there's Musk, and he makes sense of it for his followers. And it's like what a news anchor used to do, I mean, when we still trusted, quotation marks, legacy media. So yeah, he directly communicates it to his followers. He bypasses the traditional legacy media gatekeeper step, which is fine, because of course, yeah, we know we shouldn't be just blindly trusting them either. However, putting Musk in the spot of like, I trust him to make sense of everything is questionable. Yeah, I just stick with this example now of the politician in Germany, because I'm German and I speak German, obviously, right? So I didn't listen to the whole thing on X because I got annoyed, but maybe she even makes a little bit of sense in English, because if you just translate it from German to English, you're like, oh, that doesn't sound too bad. Now, here's the thing. If you've ever done this, if not, do it. Like, do me a favor. That won't take too long, 5 minutes. Go to YouTube, search for subtitled Hitler speech. The English subtitle doesn't sound that bad. You're all like, oh my God, he said those terrible things, which he did. But like all those speeches that you can find, if you read it, you're like, oh, yeah, huh. Yeah, he doesn't just go out and says like, kill everybody. Yeah. That's what he said like in private probably, or like in with smaller groups, but he didn't say that like in all those public speeches. The public speeches were like all about like unity and bringing back glory and all those things. And I mean, you're like, yeah, make Germany great again, like back in the day, right? So that's why it's easy to say like, hey, they're not as bad as you say they are. I mean, when you listen to it in German, you catch those little things. Like, for example, her slogan of that lady is Alice for Deutschland, Alice für Deutschland, Alice for Germany, translated, okay? So, which is very, very close to a slogan that the Nazi party was saying back in 1935 and so on. And the slogan was everything for Germany, alles für Deutschland. And now Alice, because it's her name, für Deutschland, sounds very, 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 very close. That is on purpose. You can't tell me it's just a coincidence. People want to say like, yeah, it's a coincidence. It's not, right? It's a political party that has like people that graduated in politics and been in there and in campaign management. They're doing this on purpose, okay? So then back to the point I was trying to make, like, why is this guy in a place to tell his followers how to feel about like foreign governments? And again, the German example, because I'm German, I would assume, and I know you shouldn't assume too much, but it's the same with America, or the US, even though he's been there for a much longer time, of course, so he should know everything better and he speaks the language. But then the same with UK politics, language part notwithstanding, same with like Russia, Ukraine, you name it, wherever he's involved, right? So why is he the gatekeeper now? Don't trust legacy media. Okay, cool. Yeah, make up your own mind. I'm all for that, but why trust him? Yeah, and I mean, you've seen that his comments have huge effects. I mean, the U.S. election endorsing Trump. Like, if Elon says so, well, let's do it. Now he's like, Alice Weidel is the only chance for Germany. I mean, yeah, it also has ripple effects in the media now already, for example, right? Crazy. And I'm not saying everything he does is bad, by the way. Like the Twitter files, for example, very interesting. Very good that they came out. Like, there's no arguing. That's the one time right now that I'm also on Joe Rogan's side. like yes, Twitter files had to come out. See how the government is dabbling and stuff. Don't tell me they're not trying it anymore. Yeah. I mean, right now, every big tech platform is trying to appeal to, or please the incoming administration with everything they're saying, right? Musk, Zuck, all of them. No matter what they say, they're all trying to please the incoming administration. So don't tell me that, like, yeah, they all try to, like, listen to what Twitter has been saying. They try to tell Twitter what to censor and what not. Don't tell me the new ones won't do that. Of course they will. Right? Just because you're cool bros with them doesn't mean they will not try to use you to influence public perception. Other than that, what I find also very interesting, or very interesting / worrying, even to be honest, is the duality of the influence. Because, I mean, it's great to empower voices, right? But then, on the other hand, it might also amplify the dangerous rhetoric, like the Alice Weidel AfD thing that I just mentioned, and whatever else is on there, right? So the question is, what to do? Like, how to be ethical about it? Can you be ethical about it as a media owner? What about, are there ethical considerations to be had in media ownership? The answer should be a clear yes. Now, in reality, that might look a little bit different. Can a media owner be completely ethical? Musk gonna be like, Yeah, I can, because I'm not making money with it. Congratulations, you're supposed to be the super entrepreneur. But yeah, okay, cool. But then your ego is so big that if someone criticizes you, you block them, you shadow ban them, you force everybody to read your tweets, your exes, your posts, sorry. Like, you are using your power that you have. I mean, now with that Cybertruck explosion, right? Didn't he just track down the owner of the Cybertruck and gave access to that Cybertruck to the police? Which is great, but without a court order. Just like, yeah, I'm gonna do it. He wants to be seen as the cool, nice helper in this, and in this case, sure. But doesn't that show you that he could do this anytime, any place? What if he just does it randomly? Or I don't like you, switch off the Cybertruck. Yeah, I don't like you, all your posts are gone. Super random, dangerous. Okay. So, and that's, I'm gonna bring it to an end already here. After I think we've been 15 minutes or so. That's already enough for Musk. But it brings me to the point where we have to reflect on political involvement of those public figures, and Musk in this very specific example, right? It shows us that the power of the media is immense, and that the media has lots of influence and power over democracy. And in democracy is something that I think we all agree is very important. Yet we let it to be influenced by things like media follow accounts and stuff like this, and who's on Joe Rogan and who's not. So I think, tying this to the title of the podcast, Mindful Media and Communication, we really have to critically evaluate people such as Musk and all the others in their role in shaping media and communication and what impact they have on us. Should we listen to them? Sure, why not? They are successful entrepreneurs, for example, successful podcasters, Joe Rogan, sure, listen to them. Should we just follow and believe everything they say? Clearly not, right? You don't believe the legacy media, so why do you believe everything that Rogan and Musk say? Now, having them, great. I just listened to Joe Rogan in the gym to his talk with Suck. Does it mean that I agree to everything they say? Clearly not. Listen to the next episode. Clearly I disagree with lots of stuff they say. You can still listen to them. Yeah. So I think we really need to be more mindful about how we react to what we hear, how we let content shape our perception, our minds, and critical literacy, media literacy, communication literacy is just more important than ever, simply based on how much content's out there and who regulates/controls that content. So yeah, here's me pleading to you, with you. Please, one thing you take away from this podcast, be more mindful about the stuff that you're consuming. Then please do let me know, what do you think about Elon's transformation into a political commentator? So this is right because he's so successful, he's got the reach, so he should be using his reach. What are your thoughts? As always, leave the comments on the episode on Spotify or on social media at FunkyPod. Until then, stay safe, take care. Don't listen to all of those people out there. Make up your own minds, and we'll talk soon.